There we are, kids. All right, so hello, anybody who's joining us today. Welcome to our City of Glass live show. It's going to be a hot mess, so get ready. So if you've never been to my channel before, my name is Taylor. I don't post a lot, but when I do post, it's that. And anyone else want to introduce themselves?
Are we just going in order, or?
You can go, Skylar. We'll go.
Hello, I'm Skylar. I also have a YouTube channel, and I don't know, I post videos sometimes. I don't know. Mica, go quick.
Hi, I'm Mica. I don't have a YouTube channel. I don't post anything. That's it. She's active on Twitter.
Very active on Twitter.
It's been his horror. Plug your other socials. Good morning, everyone. My name is Yesenia. I have a YouTube channel. It's just my first name, and I read all kinds of books, and I am excited to get to this one today. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Tati. I also have a YouTube channel. I post a little bit more frequently than Taylor does.
Don't make me pull our Jacob pillow, I swear.
Ooh.
I read just about anything. There's a running joke in this group that nobody can figure out my taste in books, so there's that. We're gonna scream about City of Glass for a little while.
Sammy. Book is Sammy. I read books that other people either really love or find really, really bad. So.
Right swipe, though.
If that is
anyway.
Glowing endorsement for Sammy's channel.
Yes.
True. Her reviews, though, on Goodreads hit. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's all over there. Link in the description. All right, so where do we even start here?
What did everyone rate?
Yeah, let's give our ratings first. Yeah.
I haven't rated it yet, actually.
Oh, you were waiting to surprise us or something?
Oh
God.
Great.
Kept my rating from 2009, and she's a 3-star.
Oh, you read her when she first came out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Taylor's an OG.
Wow.
But I brought her to Disney World with me back in the old times.
Been on a trip. Fan.
It's a high 3-star because I honestly so far I've rated them all 3 stars, and the other ones were
Yeah,
experience I don't want again. So like they do vary, but not much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Skylar?
So here's the thing.
Oh, no.
I feel like I want to change my ratings for the others because I cannot give this more than a 3-star.
Okay.
But the other two are so much worse.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
I feel like
Fair.
I feel like the other two are now like a 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Like I don't think this was that much better, but it was definitely better.
Okay.
But I still didn't like it. What
about
you? Tell us all about your rating.
Best feelings.
I gave it a 5 stars. I will.
Did you huff gas first, or?
And also, I wanted to add, like Taylor said. What? No. I took Clockwork Angel with me to Disney World too. So, like, I found fun. You ladies were fans. Oh my god. I were friends with Sandra Claire. Am I right? She had more already know that I'm a fan. Bad. Okay, so I actually kept my rating for City of Ashes, for City of Glass, and I gave it another 3.5 star, but for different reasons. So that was interesting. I do like book roast cow pile situation to see, and they both came out about the same. This one was like 0.1 higher or whatever, but they're still both 3.5 stars for me.
So I gave it a 4 stars. I was actually quite entertained after I got past like chapter 8. Chapter 8 was okay. Chapter 8 was all clarity, and that chapter took me a week to make it through because I would read like a few paragraphs and then I'd be like, okay, set it aside for now. But once I made it past that, I was very entertained. The crumbs I was fed were very good, and
But they're still crumbs.
they're still crumbs, but they were very good. And I don't know. I found it superior to City of Bones and City of Ashes. So 4 stars.
I too kept my rating from 2016, so I'm a little younger than Taylor.
You're so wrong for that. Why did I know that? I knew that was
If I
going
call you
to
by
find
your full name right now, you know I would be. That's me.
Oh my god.
But that was 5 stars, so too questionable.
Yeah, look.
She gave us the right swipe, so I don't know if I trust her things right now. So
Yeah, there's quite questionable things come from Sammy sometimes.
Okay, so it's interesting because this time around we all have like different ratings. The last 2 times we all kind of settled on 3 stars, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did see the Ashes too, but yeah.
Yeah, but we all had like a pretty close consensus. While this time it's like not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say, for a while, for me, it was like a 4-star book. And then I feel like I got catfished in the last like half to like quarter of the book. So I was like, whoa, what happened? And it all just kind of fell apart. But I guess we'll talk more about like why I felt that way moving forward.
I mean, we can talk about it now.
yeah, hit us with it.
Okay, so my thing with Cassandra Clare, and I don't know if you guys have all noticed this or not, but it kind of comes off like she feels like her readers are kind of dumb, and I understand that this was it's like a YA book, but it's more geared towards younger people. I get that, but when a specific event occurs and then you spend 20 pages of the characters just verbally telling you what just happened, even though you just saw it happen, like it got so like this book could have cut out like 100 to 150 pages because a lot of it was extra exposition that we didn't need because we saw it happen.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So that's why I mean I only lowered it like half a star, but I feel like if she didn't have that, this book could have been really, really good. If we didn't have all that extra stuff, like I think that it could have been a little higher because this one was superior to the other two.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just feel like they're all very.
What were you saying, Tyler?
I was just gonna say that they all just seem very, like, formulaic. Like they all follow the same pattern, and you just kind of know what to expect.
Yes.
And then it just feels badly written. Like that sounds horrible, but I just feel like I said when I posted on Instagram, I was like, I read a lot of YA, and I still enjoy YA, but I feel like this is just bad YA.
Yeah.
It's too simple for me.
My biggest 2 problems with the book were that there were some scenes that I would have liked to see that I didn't get to see. Like I would have loved to spend a little bit more time in like the big battle with all the Shadowhunters and like seeing how that was working and how they were working with like the Alliance rune instead of just like it being glossed over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
my other really big problem is that I don't enjoy resurrections in books because I feel like they're cop-outs.
Yeah,
Mhm.
me too.
So
Yeah.
we can
But
talk
you
about that.
didn't.
We can talk about that now. I don't know. But
But
I
you
want
didn't feel like Clary's ability to pull runes out of her asshole is sorry, Sanya's grandparents. Like I just every problem that they can't logically solve, she's like, "Don't worry, y'all, I got a rune for
I got
that
it.
one."
that is
Yeah.
Alliance rune. The Alliance rune was dumb as hell. What was
I
that
agree.
about?
It's so cheap and like such a cop out. It's
They did hint at it in the last, like, I mean, at least like it was hinted at, I think, in the last book, and then it was also hinted in the beginning of this. But it was definitely in the last book too. So at least like she at least thought about it
Yeah.
before.
I just think it's so like easy because like, well, we can just do whatever we want now. Just like dream up a rune, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
think
know
that.
she said she can't just like come up with them, but still.
Yeah, I think the reason why I rated this 5 stars is because it was my favorite book like a long time ago when I was 13. And I think the reason it was my favorite book because I was 13, you know, and I didn't see all of this. So.
Yeah.
But I still kept my rating because in my heart, I know it's a great book. Okay, I know it.
I have a question for you and Sammy then. Is this the best book out of the Mortal Instruments?
Oh, I've only read up till Fallen Angel, so I can't say.
Okay.
I used to think that, so, but you know.
God.
But I don't think you can trust my judgment, okay?
Yeah, you're on thin ice.
I don't know. I think we're all gonna like. So like,
Correct.
you read up to book 4 then,
Yes.
and you've read all of the Infernal Devices, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I read all of that, and
So
that.
we're gonna start coming up to a point soon that like we're all fresh.
Yeah.
Right.
No, not me.
Right along with the
No, me.
Well,
Next year I'll be finished.
Because
But
you've only read.
like getting to a point where we're all like pretty fresh. Except
Most of us.
Mika's not.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I just don't have any idea of what the rest of the series is, so couldn't tell you anything.
Again, I remember that my experience of the series is through the TV show.
Yeah, me too.
And like a lot of things that happened in the TV show happened in this book that I were not expecting to happen in this book.
Yeah.
So, or like ever in the book. So like now I'm quite intrigued to see like how that continues to pair up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Are we getting into spoilers?
I mean, we've been in spoilers, bro.
Okay, no, but I mean like spoilers. So another problem I had with this book was I literally guessed the plot twist at the end.
I mean, I already knew it, so like
Yeah.
And it just wasn't, and it was just weird. Like, I know we were discussing this like through text, but Cassandra Clare really is into the incestual relationships. Like, she was like, I will find a way to make this incestual somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Having Sebastian kiss Clary.
Yeah. I really hope that the series, the other trilogies get a little less incestuous.
Oh, they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank God. Like, I don't know how much more of this I can handle.
No.
Yeah. It's just the Mortal Instruments.
Okay, it's just Clary and Jace. Since we're talking into spoiler territory and the incestuous part of all of this, can we talk about the ending in which, like, after finding out they're not brother and sister, they still continue to date?
Yeah.
Because that's real fucking weird.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't like this relationship
I
at
don't
all.
either. It does nothing for me, and they're both idiots.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they're both super self-involved.
Mm-hmm.
And yes,
One thing that I thought was super like funny, but I rolled my eyes, was when Clary was talking to Jace about how it's okay if you don't love like your real father right away and stuff. Like, you need time to really grasp what's going on. I'm like, you guys need time to figure out what this is. Like, why do the rules apply to like family? But
even though they truly behaved like they were brother and sister because like they still kept making out at any.
Yes.
Well,
Do you know what I found really funny was when Jace thought that he was the one with like demon blood. And he was like, oh, of course, this is why. This is why. I'm not like sick in the head. It's not my fault. Like,
also,
he takes the excuse.
Can we? So, I don't know if y'all caught this, but when Jace was spying on Valentine and Sebastian, and they're having Sebastian and Valentine are having this conversation. Sebastian's like, "Oh, she'll come around soon," and Valentine's like, "Come around to what?" Did you all catch that he like very much has the hots for his sister?
They literally kissed. Yes.
No, beyond that, it's just like because at the time he was trying to get her trust to ask Sebastian, but I mean. He's literally like he almost like he's like when his father's like, oh, come around to the circle, and he's like, yeah, sure, that too.
Yeah. There is a short story that she wrote. I think it's they added it to City of Lost Souls, maybe, I'm not sure, but it's about how Jonathan became Sebastian, and there he has like a whole round about how he imagines Clary and like how they are going to have a future together, like basically destroying the world and taking over the world, and they're gonna be like this.
See, I don't love that.
I knew that he was sick in the head when he was taunting Jace and was like, "Oh yeah, she wanted it," and it's like, whoa, like you guys are clearly a
I saw that short story in the link of extras that you sent us, but I was more focused on getting more content, so I didn't even look at it.
Yeah, there's like in that link, there's like a whole thing where there's like Chase's pub of the thing where they make out, and I'm like, why would I want to read that? Why would I want more incest in my life? No, I don't want that.
Wait, I can tell you guys all the deleted scenes for this book because I have them like right in front of me. I'm like, wait, I'm trying to get to the top of City of Glass. No, I don't know where I am. I think I lost.
I don't know. I think she got all control deleted the whole book, TBH, and I would have been.
Okay, City of Glass. We have the deleted extra content, a dark transformation becoming Sebastian, which I guess we'll get into at a later date. A sudden departure. This is like an alternate version on. Oh no, this is the original first chapter of City of Glass.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got in here.
Then you have Simon's pub.
Simon's alternate or Alicante. Jace kisses Alec. Ragnarfell's cottage scene. So this is
like an extended version of this.
Yeah, it's like an extended version of what it originally read like, and Magnus was originally wearing harem pants, which I'm here for.
Everything.
An extended manor scene, which like, why would I need that? The manor scene in Jace's POV, which like, again, why would I need that? An extended version of Jocelyn's story.
An alternative ending where when Chase when Chase dies and then Claire resurrects him, like Alec, Isabel, Luke, and Jocelyn get to the scene and Luke kind of more for Valentine. That's the only thing.
Yeah, and then we have Jace's letter to Clary, and then some postcards between Magnus, Alec, Isabel, Jace, and Clary.
Yeah.
Magnus and Alec are traveling.
Those are cute.
I read those.
Yeah. Basically, all of the
I was like,
basically, all of the are like extended scenes.
No, the postcards are really cute. Isabel says that she's going to start planning Alec's wedding to Magnus. It's very cute. Very cute.
Oh, speaking of Isabel, I love how Jace gave her like no credit for saving his ass at the end.
I know, right?
Like, she's the reason you're alive, bro.
Yeah, gives anybody credit for anything ever?
Yeah, but I'm like, well, what about her? She's like half dead.
Yeah.
I really like that we got more Isabel in this book. She actually feels like a character this time.
Yeah, I'm into her whip thing, like more than the steles or steles.
Yeah.
Like her weapon sounds pretty badass.
Can we just talk about how Cassandra Clare tried to make us all care about Max?
I didn't care one bit. I didn't feel anything.
Max dies. I was like, okay.
She was like,
baby, you know? Mica talked about
honestly
crying, and I was like, "Oh, that sucks."
I was like, "Oh, we'd like barely seen him," and then it was like, "Oh, he's dead." And I was like, "Yeah,
yeah."
like,
I think
he had this little toy. Look at his little toy. I'm like,
we did. I
I
didn't know."
didn't so much feel bad that he died. I just felt bad for the Lightwoods that they now have to go through.
Yeah. I didn't actually cry this time around. I cried the first time, okay?
No tears were shed. I just
Yeah,
really felt bad.
first time. 13-year-old me was scared, okay? She hurt.
the only thing I remember, aside from his,
I started reading and I was like, oh, I know what's coming. This is gonna hurt, you know? And it hurt. He just wanted to read manga and be happy. And she killed him.
Now we can't, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like one of my problems with these books is I feel like Cassandra Clare doesn't develop a character enough before she does a twist. Like, we only met Sebastian in this book. So when it came to him being like, oh, he's evil, I didn't really care because we'd only known him for like 200 pages. Max we'd barely seen before. So how was I supposed to feel anything?
Yeah.
You know?
I liked the inclusion of Sebastian in this one, though. Like, this might be a hot take, but I think he was a way better villain than Valentine.
Yeah,
Way better.
she should have started in City of Ashes. She should have like slowly had him in there, even if it's not like rooted in the story. Maybe like at the end of that book or nearing the end, if she'd have given us like some Sebastian POV, of watching some things or like watching them.
Or like the short story of like how Jonathan became Sebastian. That would have been, if you made that chapter, like if that was a chapter or the epilogue of City of Ashes, I think that would have been a perfect setup.
Yeah, but then she wouldn't have the twist that Shades isn't actually her brother.
Yeah,
but we all knew it wasn't.
But like also, it would have been a very good twist of dramatic irony for the reader.
Yeah, like let's be honest. When Imogen, like the passing Inquisitor, whisper into Jay's ear, didn't you all think, oh yeah, he's not her brother? I mean, it was obvious.
Okay, I hate myself for this reference that I'm about to make, but we could have, I agree, like if he would have been added in the epilogue of City of Ashes, we could have had like a Victoria Twilight moment at the end.
Yeah.
Where she just turns to see her and she just walks off. Like,
that would be so much better because I just didn't really care.
But like,
no, I agree.
That would have been.
And also like, how did it take them? They were all so like, oh my god, he's evil, but like really you could not tell that he was evil. Yeah. And like there was just so many things, and then when they ended up having that fight and Simon bites him and he's like, oh, his blood tastes bad, and they're all just like, oh, don't worry, just brush it off.
I mean, I already knew the twist from the show, but like in the moment Simon said, oh, his blood tastes terrible, it was like,
it's so
his eyes turned black. Like completely black, and no one said, "Oh, this is weird."
Yeah,
what the hell?
Yeah. This is this is like my biggest problem. Is just how stupid everyone is in this.
Yeah.
This book is a 5 stars. You know.
That's
fine. It is a 5 stars.
That's subjective.
You know what I find kind of ridiculous? That nobody taught Clary stranger danger.
Yeah, she's just like
telling her entire life story to Sebastian in one horse ride. Like, dude, you don't know him. You've met him like 5 minutes ago. If he says he can take you to Ragnarfell, you go grab Jace or Isabel or Alec or literally anyone, and you're like, this dude knows where Ragnarfell is. But so at the beginning of this book, Clary was literally getting chewed out by everyone. And I was kind of living for it because it was super justified. Yeah. It was super justified. Everything that everybody was saying, it wasn't even me. It was just justified.
Yeah, because they've got no experience in the world. And they're like, and she's like, hey, I'm going to rush off and go find this magical wizard. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no.
Like, if I had to go find a magical wizard, maybe I would find people who grew up with magical wizards.
Yes.
And, hey, take me on this ride with you.
Yeah. Honestly, like, Luke's entire like scolding of Clary when they get to Alicante is completely justified because she does like just jump into things gung-ho without like thinking of consequence.
Yeah.
And I understand that she's like a 16-year-old, but most 16-year-olds know better than to just like do things without saying something.
Well, she also lives in New York City. Like, girl.
Exactly.
And she has the plans. She told him everything she was gonna do. Every little secret she had, she told him, and she didn't even know him for like more than 2 seconds. Like,
honestly, she was so lucky that it was Magnus that she ran into at Ragnar Cottage.
Yeah.
Because at least Magnus is someone that she knows and like who has like whatever side interest Magnus may have, he does have her best interest in mind. So she's super lucky that she ran into Magnus instead of like whoever else she could have run into. Because like, what if it was another warlock pretending to be Ragnar Fell? She would have never known that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just
call that
me.
plot armor, ladies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happening to Clary because
She's so lucky that she ran into Magnus and not just like another warlock that just wanted the Book of the White for themselves.
Yeah, but what would we do without Magnus? Like,
honestly, they would be screwed.
Carries this entire like franchise on his back.
They would have all been dead already.
Like honestly, all Shadow Hunters like would be dead at this point without.
Yeah,
multiple bloodlines.
He's gonna be like the one carrying this.
Yeah, he does all the work every time. Yeah. Besides, Clary's magical runes. It's Clary
convenient. I'm not over what she has. Very convenient.
How do we feel about that power?
Awful.
Like, do we feel any better? Because I know the last book we were all kind of confused at why that was even a thing.
I mean, now we have a sort of explanation for why it happened.
Yeah.
But it's kind of stupid that it was done like it wasn't done on purpose. It was done accidentally.
Yeah.
It's a power of convenience written in by Miss Judith Lewis because girl couldn't write her way out of her little disasters. So she was like,
look, I'm kind of glad that the Alliance Rune exists because that gave me that wonderful like Malik moment there. In which Alex said fuck the clave with his entire chest, but other than that, it's just a power of convenience. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So. I don't mind it that much, but like,
I just can't picture someone in the middle of a battle being like, wait guys, let me draw this.
But also, how would they have gotten out of any of those situations in which she's used it? How would she have gone to Alicante without being able to make a portal rune?
She wouldn't have. That's what I'm saying. It's so convenient.
Finish that battle without the Alliance Rune. Where?
No.
She couldn't fight it if she tried. So she was like, tie it up.
It's too easy. I don't like it.
Yeah. I hate so much like that is the only thing that Clary can do. Like, why?
Yeah.
No one taught her to fight. Like, sometimes
it's already.
Well,
time happened.
I was thinking that too. But aren't these 3 books in the span of like a week?
Yes.
2 weeks.
It's like it's got to be like 3 weeks.
It's
maybe a month. You know, usually why Clary is like, oh, but I'm a shadow hunter now. I'm like, bitch, it's been like 3 weeks. Like,
yeah, she really isn't. That's why I like thought that like Luke's whole speech at the beginning where he was like chastising her was so fair because it's like it's been 3 weeks. You're not. You haven't even learned how to use a seraph blade properly. Like, much less can you call yourself a shadow hunter.
Yeah, but why hasn't she learned? Why isn't anybody teaching her?
Yeah. Also, do that bit at the start where Luke is talking to her and they're at the lake? Can we talk about how much I hated that whole situation for a second? Yeah. Where he's like, oh yeah, this magical lake with all these powers and things. And the angel came out of it holding the cup and the sword, but nobody knows where the mirror is. Oh yeah, by the way, this lake is called the Mirror of Dreams. Anyway, should we move on? It's so obvious. And then they're all like, oh my god, nobody thought of this. Oh my god.
Yeah, and Hodge knew. Yeah. Like, what was that? What was that?
We're talking like hundreds of years of like the Clave not knowing, despite the fact that they literally call it the Mirror of Dreams. Mirror.
All idiots.
And they're all like, oh my god.
2009 YA was a different time.
It's so bad.
I
wanted to die.
The Clave is just too.
Horrible.
Sam, it's just sad that we're trashing this book.
I'm sorry, Sammy.
It's a 5 stars though, okay?
Sammy, better times will come along. Better times will come along.
I hope so. I'm struggling.
I don't know. Do you guys want to talk about our least favorite characters? Because I have 2 very prominent ones.
Is one of yours
What? Is one of mine?
Is one of yours Alder Tree, Tati?
Yes!
He was Arrow from Twilight. I said this to you on Twitter. The way he talked was literally Arrow from Twilight.
I'm so glad. So I, opposed to our other 2 live shows, I actually sat down and read this one. I like didn't audiobook it.
I was like, wow.
I note about
What?
Did anyone else read the audiobook or listen to the audiobook while reading?
No.
Yeah, I did.
Did anyone notice that some parts were written or were the audio was completely different than the writing?
Yeah. Really?
No. There was one scene in particular that it didn't touch on a very important part that I thought it kind of skipped over it in the audiobook. And we don't have to talk about it right now, but it was very weird. I didn't know if my book was just like older because this is like the original.
No, because I have the 2015 edition, and it was the same.
That's weird.
Yeah, but I forget what part it was, but I remember I was reading. I was like, whoa. Wow.
I know the audiobooks are older because like in the last, so I have the newer versions, and in the last 2, the audiobooks would sync up with like the older versions. So like the corrections and changes that have been made throughout the years were not in the audiobooks.
Okay. So, I mean, I bought these back in like 2010.
Yeah.
But when they were talking about the Herondale scar or like the birthmark, they completely like skipped over the part where they talked about how Clary had the scar too.
Yeah.
So like I don't know why
I
did that, but it was something I noticed when I was reading. Some of the things were like completely different. I was like,
because I think maybe she corrected that.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
it's a plot
I
hole.
remember that in the first live show.
No, it does like make sense eventually, but it was really weird.
I remember that in the first live show you were talking about like Clary's scar. And I was like, I don't remember that from the books, and I went back and it's not in the newer version.
Yes, I think she corrected that because I don't think there's a correlation between her and the Herondales.
No,
I
I was gonna say I don't remember. I have this one which I got in like 2013, and I don't remember seeing anything about a scar on Clary.
On Clary, I don't remember that at all.
So maybe I took it out. Because why would she have it?
Because it's passed down from the family.
I don't.
Right? I don't know.
But she's not a Herondale.
No, you guys, did they tell you why the Herondales have the scar? Did they say that?
They don't say it. They say that a Herondale in the past got it. But I'm just gonna say that it's a very cute story how this.
Yeah, but in mine, it's
really trying to tell this series.
But it's not in this book that they tell you that.
In mine, it literally talks about how they got it. So, like,
I think I remember a story about it.
Don't tell us, Sammy. We'll find out eventually.
Okay. Anyway.
So I didn't listen to the audiobook for this one. I'm glad that I didn't because Alder Tree's speech patterns would have driven me up a wall. They were already driving me up a wall, like, in general, reading it. So I don't even want to imagine what the audiobook would have been like.
It was
Yeah.
I hate how when a character is supposed to be bad, they just make a really annoying voice for it. Like, why? Like, why are you gonna hate it? Why are you gonna add to it?
I'm gonna bring up something, a series by an author that we don't like to talk about, but I'm gonna do it very briefly and very quickly, but just as a point of reference.
Mm-hmm.
Are the Inquisitors in this gonna be like the Defense Against the Dark Arts teachers?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need this.
Are we just gonna name every book?
Also, everyone is more stupid than the past one. And they all have these wild theories that make no sense, have no basis. And I'm like, where did you got this from, bro? Like, no.
Yeah,
I'm wondering how the Inquisitors are going to be like the Defense Against the Dark Arts teachers. Just like a new one every book.
Yeah. Just to keep things fresh, keep things
Yeah,
spicy.
keep us on our toes.
Yeah.
Hey,
I hate that for us.
Sandra Claire's ahead of her time, putting stupid people in positions of power. So I don't know, guys. I think maybe it was a little realistic.
True.
Fact.
Okay. So I think we've ranted about this book for a while now. Do we want to talk about what we liked? Liked anything?
I mean, you can.
I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
Sammy, go ahead. You have many feelings.
No.
Sammy, show everyone your annotations for this book. I was shocked.
What did you find to annotate in this book?
I was shocked. That is like
what did you find?
Look at
To
my
be fair,
I'm there with you. I got notes.
to be fair, a lot of these are like all these green ones are things that tie to other books or to future books. So like that's the majority of this because there's like a few that aren't. I don't know what it is about this series. I think I appreciate it in retrospect more because I feel like even though like it's not the best writing like at all, it does tie together. Oh, like I know a lot of her like choices are very convenient, but it does end up tying together like very well, whether it's like convenience or not. And then also, I guess I'm just kind of a sucker for like faded sort of things. Like we can argue back and forth Jason Clary's character in general, but I think like the whole idea of them, like, okay, it's like lame like saying it out loud because like they're not that great of a couple, and I don't even think they're the best couple like around even in this series. But like the reason that they're so,
I used to think that,
but like old me when I found out like, oh my god, like it's because they're both have like been like, I don't know, with the angel whatever. I was like,
like a soulmate thing.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's like the whole fated mated history like brought them together, blah blah blah.
Sammy's and then romantic.
And then I don't know, I feel bad for Jace too, like in this, like this whole thing, like he was abused all of his childhood. Okay, look, he was abused his whole thing. Okay, look. He was abused his whole childhood.
So like
he's abused his whole childhood. Then he comes and he witnesses what he thinks is his dad die. He deals with that, even though he hated his dad because he abused him his whole life. He goes to the Lightwoods, and then he kind of has a good relationship with them, but he still like has like complete trust issues. And then in the last book, Maris completely rats him out, sends him off to the freaking dungeons because he like after one thing he does. So like, the man has no one in his life other than like Alec and Isabel. But then half the time they're all like, well, he's kind of a wild card. And I'm just like, I don't know. I feel bad for him.
I'll give you that. Jace has been through it. And it did make me kind of sad at the end when he was like, I don't even know what my last name is because he doesn't.
Yeah.
It made me sad.
You can just pick. He can change every day if he wants to. He has like 5.
But at the same time, I'm like, dude, you do some of this stuff to yourself. Like,
dude, go get a DNA test.
Yeah, the thing
just solve this problem. Go on there, Kyle. Solve it.
That bitch.
Go to Ancestry.com and live your dreams. Like spit in a cup. Let's
do a 23andMe. Do a 23andMe.
Yeah, but it's like I can see both sides of the coin because then like he wants to belong to the Lightwoods, right? But then he treats Alec and Isabel like absolute shit half the time. And it's like they're not gonna accept you as their brother if you're just kind of a douche to them all the time. So like I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that he's badly written. If he was written better, that could have come across, better.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, because he's unlikable, I don't care so much.
Do you guys think it was a good call for Cassandra Clare to give us all these different perspectives in the books?
Yes.
100%.
She does
stick with the series if it was all Clary.
And she didn't do a good job with it in the first 2 books, and then this book she does really well. And in the next books, they focus a lot more, mainly because you have to get attached to some of these other characters to like deal with their storylines.
This one's much more balanced in like spreading around the character perspectives. I actually really liked how she was flipping back and forth at the end between what was going on in the battle, like at Alicante, and what Jace was doing. I thought that was really fun because it was like like the flips were quick, so like it was like it kept the story moving, which I really liked.
Yes, but can we talk about how long these chapters are? Because that's what
they are ridiculously long.
Most of them were cut because the whole thing with the short stories is more, you know. Like, does she never stop writing the chapter? Does she never think maybe I should?
Yeah, I said this on Twitter. I was literally bribing myself with chocolate to get to the end of chapters. I had a chocolate bar next to me and I broke it up.
The epilogue. Originally, the story had no epilogue, and then she decided to write a 60-page epilogue. What the hell was that?
But it wasn't this series supposed to be the trilogy?
Yes, that's what I was about to say. She, and you notice, well, at least you will notice, she adds so much into the last chapter to make it so that you have things to look for. Like, there's multiple characters in here. Very briefly, you see floating in the backgrounds, Sealy Queen moment.
This clearly feels like an end.
It was.
It wrapped up. They were looking at fireworks or whatever.
And I think if I remember correctly, like she even wrote this originally as the end, but then like it was so popular, her agent was like.
And when you realize what's coming in the next 3 books, you're gonna die. You're gonna want to die.
Okay. Before we move on too far, can we like talk about Jace's resurrection for a minute?
Talk about what?
Talk about his what?
His
resurrection.
Oh, he could have stayed dead for me.
And I thought that would have been a better plot.
Fair.
Yeah,
me too.
Not just because I hate Jace. Not it. Besides that,
it would have actually shocked me.
Exactly, it would have like set up stakes and met them.
Yeah.
Yes. And no more Instas for me, you know? That would have been the best part. No more Instas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, like, it's just like, it would have set up some stakes and it would have gone through with them. And moving forward, that would have kept the reader on their toes. Like, oh, if they can kill off one of the main characters and one of the main couple, then they can kill anybody.
Yeah, that's one of the problems I have reading a lot of YA books is that there are no kind of stakes.
Yeah.
So just once I would like to see that happen.
I thought it would be better.
I saw it happen, girl. The Cruel Prince.
I don't like stakes. I don't like
this
them.
reminded me of my most hated YA series.
I don't want it.
Wait, what? Me?
Sammy is a happily ever after kind of gal.
So here's my question. Are we playing this with 2020 hindsight, or like would you have felt the same way had you read this when it first came out? I know some of you read it.
I
did feel the same.
I liked it. I loved the series when I first read it. I very distinctly remember like loving it.
See,
but I also think that it was 2009. I had no taste, clearly, and I mean, it doesn't hit.
Yeah.
Looking back at some of the things I read.
Yeah, I mean, I had pretty much the whole series except the last book in like 2013, but I literally read the first book and I was like, and I never read the rest until now. Here we are.
5 stars then, 5 stars now, you know.
When
Mica.
This is my first time picking them up.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first read it, like I did not like the first book. Like it was not like that enjoyable to me. I think because I'd actually seen the movie before reading the first book, which is why I knew like a lot of like what happened in the rest of the series. Just because the movie is like, which I think everyone can watch now. It doesn't spoil anything anymore. So if you want to watch it, it's not that bad. Like it's bad, but it's not that bad.
I think it's not fun.
I think it is too, but I'm not going to throw out my opinion here, so it can't come back and bite me. But I think it's fun. But originally at the end of the movie, they tell you that like they're not siblings.
Yeah.
So
this covers the first 3 books?
No. So what happens is like at the end of City of Bones, like when they find out they're siblings, Valentine tells them they're siblings. At like in a separate scene after Clary and Jace have left, Valentine's like, yeah, I'm just telling them that like they're not actually siblings.
Yeah.
Like probably to save their asses because
I guess you kind of have to do that in the movie, so it's not weird.
Yeah.
Show the whole siblings plotline was fixed up really quickly.
Yeah. So it's like we know they're not siblings,
baby.
But
but like, yeah. But like in general, like I know these books like aren't objectively good, and I'm not reading them because they're objectively good. Like I can tell you, like reading this is not quality literature. I wouldn't recommend it. But like I don't know, like thinking about it in like 2009 YA like terms, like I forgive. I'm like pretty forgivable. Or yeah. Like I don't know.
Shameless plugging my live show I did yesterday, but we actually had this discussion of where like not every book needs to be this amazing piece of literature for it to be good.
Yeah, I agree.
I haven't given these books like super low ratings because are they the greatest thing I've ever read? No, but like they're still fun. That's how I feel about
entertainment wise, I was entertained.
Yeah.
I was not at all.
No, me neither. I was bored.
I was bored to tears.
Me too.
And that I
really
think is valid. Like if that's like
as well.
Yeah.
I felt like she was insulting my intelligence 80% of the time, and it kind of felt like what's that Hansel and Gretel? Like there was just breadcrumbs everywhere, and not even like the good kinds. It was like, oh, by the way, and you're like, okay, I'll pick.
It was just loaves of bread,
and then you pick another one up, and then it's all the pieces of the puzzle, but they're in order, and then you like get there to put the puzzle together, and you're like, oh, Tony Moore, I already got it. Like here it is. So I don't know. Personally, I was just so bored. I knew everything that was going to, and I have seen the show, and I have read the books once before, obviously. Like I knew what was going to happen, but
Taylor, did you finish the series?
No, I did. I only remember reading the first 3, but I own Fallen Angels, so I'm going to assume I read that. And it looks
I read Fallen Angels too, but I literally could not tell you anything that happens in it. I think just because it's like so very separate. Like these first 3 and then the last 3 are very separate to me, so I can't remember the plot without reading the rest of them.
Yeah, but I haven't read any of the others. I haven't read any of the Infernal Devices, none of the rest of that. So I'm excited for next month where it's fresh content.
I
remember better characters.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a nice change for everyone.
I remember things about Heavenly Fire more than the other 2 books for some reason. But,
So I don't know if this is like a hot take with everyone else, but has anyone else had like a difficulty remembering what's happened in the series so far? Like I know that sounds really not great. But I just find these books forgettable.
It's just that the other 2 didn't. So out of the 3, I found that the one that most had a plot to remember was this one.
Yeah.
The other 2 didn't really have a plot per se. They were just like, it almost makes me want to say that it was like a slice of life moment.
I think the whole thing takes place in a couple like
days.
Yeah.
And so I remember the big battle scene from City of Ashes. I don't remember a damn thing from City of Bones.
See, here's the thing. I forgot there was a battle here.
There was a battle in City of Ashes?
Yeah.
See, but
I know that I'm getting old, but
yes, there was with the boat.
Like I think I told you guys this. I thought the boat scene was at the end of City of Bones. I completely like merged the 2 together because they're very similar. They're like very similar.
So I thought that happened in City of Bones.
This is what I remember from each of them. City of Bones, obviously Clary realizes she's got Shadowhunter blood. And oh shit, we're brother and sister. The second one,
and the moral
sure Simon turns into a vampire in the second one. And then this one, like I remember more from, but I guarantee you next month I'm not gonna remember shit from this one either. No. I remember the high point of it, but
Yeah, and the
Okay.
only other things that I remember are the moral instruments that were stolen in each book, like City of Bones, the Moral Cup, City of Ashes, the Sword, and also in City of Ashes, I remember the Silly Court scene because that, just traumatized me. So I remember it.
That's fair.
Yeah, that bit was.
And that's why I'm gonna remember in this book the part where Chase tells Clary that he should love her like a sibling, not like he loves her now. Like that traumatized me too, and I'm gonna remember that shit.
I should love.
That's like 5 stars. Like, it doesn't make sense. Make it make
Yes,
sense.
5 stars, okay, 5 stars.
I
Mica
should
was
protect you from
nostalgia for this.
Yeah. I actually, talking about like scenes that we remember, Sammy and I were talking while we were both reading this, and I remember that we talked about how the only scenes that we really remember are like the romantic moments that we were really invested in. Everything else is just kind of like.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm gonna remember that Magnus and Alec refer to each other as boyfriends in this one.
Yeah.
It's like all I'm gonna remember, I think.
And then they were like, that Alec found Magnus in an alley, and like they started fighting together. Like, battle cup of Alec, yes, give it to me.
And the kids in front of everyone.
Everybody. Those are the things that I'm gonna remember. Honestly, the only reason why I wanted more of the battle scene just was because I wanted to see them work together with the Alliance.
I would have loved to have seen that.
That's literally all I wanted to see. I just like wanted to see them be like in battle together using the Alliance.
Yeah,
I
agree.
also would love to see Jocelyn and Luke together fighting.
But yeah, like
Yeah.
the moments that I remember from these books are like the beautiful romantic moments. Like the moments I remember from City of Ashes is mostly just the one where when Alec and Magnus are in the truck and Alec gives Magnus his ring. That's like the moment that Alec comes back to the Institute with the hickey on his neck.
Yeah, the Hige.
So now that Jocelyn's back, how do we feel?
Again, I don't really care.
Because I know some of you guys haven't seen the TV show, but for those of you who have, I won't ruin anything, but I prefer her plotline there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't like how the only thing we really know from her is like her love stories. Like it's like her whole story is just rooted in these two men.
And Claire, that's her other big love story.
Cassandra Clare hates women. That's it. That's just the truth.
Honest to God. Yes.
Yeah.
I just don't
It was
trust.
like the bit that got me was like, I don't know, I feel like Clary's been less annoying with that. Like she's trying to, like, you know, not hate women so much. But then we flipped to like Isabel for like I think the first time.
Yeah.
And she literally said, she's like, I'm really trying not to like hate other girls. And I was like, wait, what? You too?
The quote, I wish I would have marked it because that was the quote that I hated the most in the book. But she was like, yeah, now I've come to realize that girls aren't just there for you to hate them.
Yeah. I don't know why Cassandra Clare just doesn't want like a female friendship.
Yeah.
But I would like to see it.
Yeah,
They all just exist to hate each other.
Also, like I can't believe that when I first read this book, I thought that Carrie and Isabel were so like such big friends and that they should be parameterized. And I'm like, bitch, where do you think that? Where do you saw that? They don't like each other.
Yeah, here's the thing. Since I was going in with my expectations from the show, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna be like fast friends, blah blah blah. And then I was like, oh no, Clary hates women.
Yeah.
And apparently
Isabel serves her a lot of like shit in this book too, which was good. I thought it like showed.
No, I'm telling you, everybody literally chewed Clary out at the beginning of this book, and it was all justified. And it was
the whole book. Throughout the whole book, everyone constantly going at her.
One of my favorite scenes was Sebastian like called out everybody.
God, I almost want to read it. It is so funny. Okay, you've had no idea what it's been like being around a lot of these past few days, having to pretend I could stand you, that the sight of you didn't make me sick. You, he said to Jace, every second you're not panting after your own sister. You're whining on and on about how your daddy didn't love you. Well, who could blame him? And you stupid bitch, you turned to Clary giving that priceless book away to a half-breed warlock? Have you have a single brain cell in that tiny head of yours? And you, he's directed his sneer at Alec, I think we all know what's wrong with you. they shouldn't let your kind in the clave. You're disgusting.
Okay, when he went after Alec, though, I was like, okay, this man can choke, but we can like.
Sammy, I was like, I was all on board until the moment he came for Alec. That's when I was about to throw hands.
Yeah, take the end bit off. The rest of it, I can vibe with. You know.
Yeah, it was like he went off. I like this dude.
Yeah.
No,
And then that last line against Alec was the one thing that fucked it up because I'm not here for that homophobia.
Also, with Angel, when Angel Raziel was also doing like Valentine, I was like,
I think this book did not like actually, because obviously this book kind of views like you're shifting your villain from Valentine to Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it did, and look, I probably am reading into it a little bit farther, but it does mention a lot of times that like people keep viewing Valentine as this big bad villain, but he's just a man, and all these people just kind of built him up on this thing. Like when they were literally going to not even try to fight with him, they're like, I'm just not gonna even deal with him.
I wrote that in my notes. I was like, what is his, like, he's just a person. Why can they not just,
which I think was, I don't know, like, obviously, I don't think they meant to make it that way, that, like, oh, he's just a man, like, but I thought it was a good shift of villain. I don't know.
Yeah, he was in the end, but still. Yeah, he was just a stupid man. Like,
yeah.
He was a shit.
How do we all feel now that he's done with?
Good.
I hope he's actually done with. I hope they
It was just like, dead bitch.
Yeah.
Because if we get the resurrection, I might have to put the Mortal Instruments down for a little bit.
I think we're switching back and forth every month.
No. Like, I was really glad when Raziel like killed Valentine. I was just like, let's get him out of the way. I don't need him here. He's a shit villain anyway. He's not
the worst.
I think his death was awful. A cop out. It was a cop out.
Yeah.
It
was really quick, and there was no like
Sebastian
build.
Wait, what?
I do wish that we still had Sebastian or Jonathan though, because I feel like if we had him for another book, like he was a pretty good villain.
Yeah.
You kind of understood his reasoning, and it made more sense.
I think if Jace would have been the one to kill Valentine too, we probably would have found that unrealistic too, though. So I don't know how they could have killed him. That would have actually been good.
I was fine with the angel killing him because the angel kind of put him in his place while he was doing it. Like, I'm not here for your like binary of like who's good and who's bad.
Yeah.
So,
like
you know what person for? If Sebastian killed Valentine, that would have been a sight.
Yeah.
If he was like, screw you, dude, I'm gonna do my own thing. I don't need you anymore. You served your purpose, kind of thing. Like that would have been pretty.
Sebastian was definitely one of the more interesting characters.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
She killed him off right quick.
Would have been a serve. Like, I really think that.
We'll see what the rest of the series happens.
So, switching gears really quickly, how do we feel about Simon and that love triangle that Cassie Clare is like trying to care about? Like,
why is this woman like? Why does she need to put everyone in love triangles? And why does Simon need to be in them all?
Literally, I don't understand.
I'm not really a fan of love triangles, but
I'm either.
Claire's like Simon's hot now, and I'm like, since when?
Like, I don't hate them if they're done good, if they're done well.
I don't know. I like Simon's character in this better. He's maturing in a way that Clary is not. But aside from that, the love triangle is a no for me.
Yeah,
me too.
Love triangles never go the way I want them to.
Yeah.
Who would you guys want him to end up with?
Simon?
Yeah. If you had to choose.
If
I liked him with Maya in City of Ashes, but I think that him and Isabel have more chemistry.
Yes. I always thought, like, I think if obviously it's Cassandra Clare didn't develop them that well, but like, I don't know. I don't really care about Simon that much, but I did in this book. I will say, like, rereading this, I cared about him a lot more, and I thought he was not a great character, but like more
Better
fleshed
developed,
out and
yeah.
like.
He was
Definitely.
better developed this time around.
Mhm.
Yeah, when I first read this book, what I'm gonna say is, you can't hate me for this. When I first read this book, the only people I care about were Clary and Jace, and now rereading them, I care about everyone else but them.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know how I think the series could be improved? A little less Clary and Jace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing,
So,
Clary is not a good protagonist. Clary is not the main character. She
No.
should have never been the main character of this.
yeah, no.
The modern instruments are really, really, really looking a lot like Shadow and Bone for me. And you all know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you gave this 5 stars, Mica.
Yeah, it's still 5 stars, okay, Skylar? It is.
You're gonna have conflicting emotions. It's fine.
It just is.
I'm still trying to stay a little optimistic for the rest of the series as a whole going forward, because we still have like 3 different trilogies to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And we're almost we're like halfway through the Mortal Instruments right now.
Yeah.
But we still have, like, the other trilogies coming up, and I think we might get a little bit more enjoyment out of those than we did out of this one.
I hope so.
Because
I'm just
they
frustrated
are
with them.
getting better.
They are getting better.
I stand by that too.
Yeah.
Like they're getting better.
The writing is getting better. Not by much, but it is getting better.
Yeah.
I just, I don't know how much I agree, but
Everybody
The writing in this wasn't better than City of Bones.
No.
Oh,
not
interesting.
really.
Interesting.
But also the bar for City of Bones was so low.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
I don't
So
know.
let's
Everybody
publish that.
always raves about the Infernal Devices, so I'm trying to stay optimistic.
I mean,
Yeah.
there is a love triangle there, but it's a really good love triangle.
I know,
Good.
but it was already ruined for
Really
the
good.
first 20 pages of Chain of Gold.
Yeah, you fucked that up. You
Ooh.
really did.
Yeah, I'm
Good
excited
fuck that
because
up.
I have no idea.
So
yes,
I
same, Tyler. I have no idea either.
cracked the cover. Like,
Don't.
no. I wasn't gonna read it, but I haven't even cracked the cover out of like fear that words will jump out. So I literally, I haven't even cracked the cover on that thing.
I will say I was actually spoiled for the end of the Infernal Devices too, or just like different things. But I felt like there was still a lot of things in there that I never heard because, like, I mean, they're not as big, but they still play in a lot later and then in other parts. So like, even if you do get spoiled, like, there's definitely more stuff.
Well, the only thing that was spoiled for me was like the love triangle. Like, I know who ends up with
There's
who.
still a lot. There's still a lot that
I kind of know who ends up with who, but I'm still gonna enjoy the ride.
I think
Yeah,
I have an idea, but I don't know for sure. So
It's
Somehow managed to not get spoiled about any of this.
I don't even know the characters in the Infernal Devices. I don't even know their names. Like,
How do you do that? How? Teach me your ways, please.
you guys almost got me with that Max shit. So good thing I didn't. Fuck.
I mean, even I heard about it.
I was like, you guys are coming for my brand of not getting spoiled for anything.
I had to try.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, kids, is there anything else we want to talk about? We've been on here for an hour now, and I don't want to beat a shitty dead horse, but
I don't know.
It's a horse. It's a 5-star horse, okay?
it's so no.
I have a
Mica, I think you're gonna have to give this book 2 ratings, like your nostalgic rating and your real rating.
I said that on Twitter. I said that City of Glass was at 5 stars emotionally and at 3.5 logically.
Okay,
I don't
then.
want to call the 2 5-stars people out, but Mica gave the Wicked King 5 stars, and Sam was trying to tell me King's nothing is
the Wicked King hits.
no.
Wicked King
King-
5 stars in both ratings.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
but
Me and Taylor were exchanging quotes earlier. That book hits.
no,
That
it
book-
doesn't.
I don't know. All of these people around me know something that I don't because I've not.
It just doesn't. It just doesn't
It does.
hit.
It
Taylor,
does.
you are wrong.
No, I'm not.
Isanya, Isenya, you gave 5 stars to Akamath. You can talk. Okay? No.
Again, I don't.
I can't trust any of you.
You know what, guys? I'm gonna get us out of this. What are we all reading right now? Let's move on to what we're currently reading.
Okay. I'm reading Kill Switch by Penelope Douglas right now. Skylar sent it to me. It's the 3rd book in the Devil's Night series, and the 4th one just came out 2 days ago, Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Friday.
So I'm in the middle of that right now. I'm living, we all know I'm a Penelope Douglas stan account, so other things relate me to that. But so I'm living for it. It's great. I can't wait to start Nightfall, and that's what I'm doing right now. What about you, Skylar?
I'm reading Nightfall by Penelope Douglas.
Is it good?
Yes, I'm like 400 and something pages in.
It's so big.
620 pages long.
That's long. That's good.
But I'm loving it, so I'm fine with it, you know?
That's a big boy.
What about you, Sammy?
God. Okay. So I told myself I was gonna read this before. What is it? Is it next week? No. 2 weeks from now when
I know
Midnight
what you're
Sun
gonna
comes
say.
out.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
So-
you're reading Life and Death.
I haven't started it yet. I literally finished this morning, but I do plan on at least reading the end of this, which is like the alternate ending, gender bent Twilight, just because I don't know. This font is very small. So I'm gonna do that, but then I think after that I'm gonna read Tweet Cute by Emma Lord, which I'm very excited about. So
I'm reading Daisy Jones and the Six right now. It's really good. I really like the format, but I'm probably gonna finish this today, like realistically speaking. So I didn't remember that the Twilight thing was coming up, so maybe I'll read Twilight for the first time. You know, maybe it's time.
Wait.
you haven't read it.
You haven't
Okay.
She's gonna give it 5 stars. She's gonna give it 5 stars.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, probably.
How have we
You know
been
what?
talking about
I will
Twilight for so
accept-
long and she's never read it?
Because she saw the movie.
I watched the movie. Yeah.
I will accept a 5-star rating for Twilight. I will not accept a 5-star rating for this. So
Well, it's what you got, okay? It's a 5 stars.
I think she's gonna hate Twilight.
I
think
think
she's gonna hate it too.
Everyone, you're gonna get Midnight Sun.
she's gonna love to hate it though.
No,
I
I think she's gonna have Lena Starkov,
So
Bella Swan. They're both dumb bitches moment.
Yeah.
I don't think she's gonna like it.
So is Clary.
Yeah, but she doesn't have the nostalgia for this.
That's true.
Yeah.
The nostalgia factor for her rating was obviously massive. So
yeah.
Also, Bella lets that shit drag out too. Claire's been a dumb bitch for 3 weeks. We gotta live her a little bit of credit here.
Twilight's like not even that long either though.
Oh no, it's 450 something pages.
I'm talking about
timeline.
She goes over a whole 4.
The timeline's literally a year.
Yeah.
The timeline for the series is like a year. The
not
timeline for
long.
that book was like a few weeks.
The whole series is a year?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally thought it was 2 or 3.
No.
If you remember, she gets married at 18, doesn't she?
she's in
Yeah.
the 11th. She's in
And
the
it's her 18th birthday in New Moon.
midway March.
It's
Twilight,
literally a year.
yeah, Twilight is second semester of 11th grade.
Yeah.
New Moon is first semester of 12th grade. Eclipse is second semester of 12th grade. And then Breaking Dawn is when they get
Summer.
married, like September after they graduate.
Yeah.
Well,
But you know what? At least Bella and Edward aren't maybe siblings.
That's
I
true.
don't know that. You could be her ancestor somehow.
Yeah, they're very
We probably heard.
Very
He is 103 though, so
106.
7.
I thought he was 109.
That's from the movie. That's from the movie.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Right.
Whatever. I'm reading 2 books at the moment. I'm reading The Raven King from the Foxhole Court.
I saw that pop up on Goodreads and I was like, why?
I don't know. And I'm also reading The Cruel Prince.
Wait, did you like the Foxhole Court?
No, I gave it 2.5 stars.
Did anybody like the Foxhole Court?
I
don't know,
still
I haven't
haven't
read
read it.
I still haven't read it.
Very weird.
I liked it, but we have been saying that my taste is not good. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll read it next month.
Honestly, I bought all 3 at the same time because they were super cheap.
Yeah.
And
Me too.
It's because they're badly written.
Yeah, they're really badly written. They're really bad books, but I'm reading it right now just because, like, I already read the first one and I'm going to read the other 2.
She doesn't even use pronouns. I hate that. She just uses the name all the time.
And so I'm also reading The Cruel Prince.
How are we feeling about The Cruel Prince so
I'm
far?
only like 3 chapters in. Not that far.
Fair.
I started reading it like 2 days ago and I haven't gotten that far in. Since I've been back at work all the time, my reading time has been cut down.
Yeah.
Also, I'm doing some editing work right now on the side as well. So like, I've been swamped with work. But you know, we're getting there.
I am reading
I have that.
The
What is that?
Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas.
I don't know what that is.
I've heard such mixed things about that.
The premise sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. It's basically about like 5 cheerleaders that all died like gruesome deaths in a span of like a couple weeks or something.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like I'm getting I don't know if any of you have read it, but A Girl's Guide to Murder. I'm getting those kind of vibes so far, which is one of my favorite books of the year. However, I will say some of the word choice in this book so far is questionable at best. And I'm only like 3 chapters in, and I've already cringed a lot just based on like how she's not really. I'll give it a little more time before I say anything, but I feel like she's not handling some issues well, like at all.
Okay.
Issues that could be triggering for people. So, yeah. But it's interesting. It's been on my TBR for a while, so we'll see where I land with my rating.
All right. Well, guys, this has been fun. I'm glad we got to argue in public.
Yes.
So, behind our keyboards, like usual. I'm excited for us to leave Clary and Jace in the dust for a hot minute, pop over to Clockwork Angel, not Prince, Angel.
Yes.
Angel.
And I'm excited to see y'all. I mean, probably 20 minutes from now, realistically, but I'm excited to see y'all again in a month.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I will see you guys in the group chat.
Bye.